Are they giving you any trouble right now?
No, cool.
Yeah,
Not at all.
they're good kids.
Very good.
Have you been? How many months out of the year do you travel?
I would say 2 months,
Oh, out of the entire year?
probably.
That's not too
Eight
bad.
months in Florida, 2 months Vegas, 2 months probably travel.
It's not bad at all. All right, so Michael, you're one of the most famous poker players in the world. You've been playing for 25 years, 5 World Series of Poker bracelets. But I feel like there's other layers to the grinder that we maybe don't know, and I want to get like under the covers, like get to know the real you and ask you things no one's ever asked you before. Are you down?
I'm down for that. Anything you want to ask, hopefully I can help you out with that.
Yes. Okay, so like just going straight for it. Actually, I'll start with something pretty easy for you. What is your single most, for you personally, happy or fulfilled moment in poker? Like just one moment that was like the top for you, but it can only be one moment.
I think winning the 50K for the first one I won was like was definitely up there. Just it's just like, oh my god, it's just like one of the most exclusive and one of the greatest events, the toughest players in the world to play against, and mixed. And I love mixed games, so just like it was just an amazing accomplishment for me. I just felt so good, and of course, I made the final table, the main event that year.
Do you think you'll ever top the feeling of that moment?
I do think I've topped it because I would say maybe the third one, but it was pretty like I don't say it was a top of it, but the 2010 was definitely better than 2018 because I made a lot more money.
Yeah. When was the last time that you cried, like actual tears coming out of your eyes?
Actually, I cried last week when my cousin passed away. So that and I haven't cried probably in maybe 15, 20 years.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was just like it was just I don't know, I just like because I kind of grew up with him. We weren't very close. He was my second cousin, but it was just like it was tough. So I went to the funeral right before I came over to Russia at the funeral.
So on the topic of family, you have 3 kids. Do they watch your, first of all, before asking that next question, do they watch your poker videos?
Well, I'll tell you this. So Paul and Julie doesn't play poker at all, but Paul and the boys are definitely Paul and Joseph are definitely interested. They love it. They came with me for the World Series. They were there for a month, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but Paul logged into my WSOP account and started playing on my online account, and he actually made me money. He made me money. I lost all the money. And just a few, he was actually he was all self taught. I didn't teach him anything. We played a few times, and he beat me heads up.
Nice. Just it's in the grinder blood. It's in the Mizrachi blood.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of talent if he wants to go forward with it. But there are a lot of they're gamers and stuff like that. The kids. Joseph was doing jiu-jitsu years ago, but now he stopped. He won a few tournaments and just completely stopped. Got into like all the kids want to play games. So I'm not used to because I grew up as always playing sports and stuff like that. I was an outdoor kid. I was never indoor, and my daughter's too always on the computer talking to her friends.
I was going to ask you if you have a favorite child. That's where I was going with that. But if you're not, because I hear some parents are like, that one.
Well, I wouldn't say I have a favorite child, but it was just like at first the girl, then then Joseph, then it just changes. It changes. But obviously, I have the love. It's just the same. The love for the three of them is always will be the same. It will never like change. Like I'm not going to favor one over the other, but I think the daughter gets away with more.
Nice. Girls rule. Okay. If you're allowed to answer, because you're currently engaged, right?
Yes.
You've previously, not previously, okay, currently engaged, but let's put a fun hypothetical question. If you had to, gun to your head, marry a female poker player who's like a known female poker player and spend the rest of your life like with a notable female poker player, who would you choose if you had to choose somebody?
Marry a notable female poker player.
So like there's, Maria Hose, the Lacey Jones, the Lonnie Harwoods, we could go OG, like the Cloney Gowans.
Cloney Gowan. That's a long. Whoa, I haven't seen her in a long time. Um,
The Annie Dukes, the Cindy Violettes. Like, I'm sure there's somebody a little bit more realistic that, like, you could be a match with. But if you just had to choose, be like, okay, I could.
It's a tough question because I don't think I'd ever probably marry a poker player because too much would have too much in common, and
So a pass.
I think I'd pass on this question. This would be
You'll just be bachelor the rest of your life
yes,
in this hypothetical world.
of course. Of course, I don't think I could do it. It would be tough.
All right.
There's definitely a lot of beautiful poker player with females for sure.
I was talking a little less about beauty, more of just like if you had to spend your life with a female poker presence, like who, just hypothetically. But that's fine. We'll move on to, if you think of somebody, though, let me know. What poker player do you wish you had their life? Like a pro, a notable pro.
Dan Bilzerian.
Okay, but Dan, isn't initially, okay, somebody other than Dan, because Dan, let's talk about somebody that, legit full-time
Poker player? Oof. Phil Ivey would probably be up there, one of them, because always looked up to Phil Ivey, and it's always, he's a good friend of mine, so let's go, we'll take Phil, or maybe, Dan Negreanu, one of them.
Yeah, those are both good choices. What is your biggest doubt or fear that you, or maybe hole in your game? Not hole in your game, but yeah, I was going to say doubt or fear, when it comes to a poker career. Or are you just a boss all the time? But we all have little thoughts of I need to do that better. I don't know, just getting inside of. What are your insecurities, Michael? Tell me all about them.
No, I mean, obviously sometimes I play in games where it's probably a little bit too big, or it could be uncomfortable, but I play I treat it like, I'm the richest man in the world, so that's how you're supposed to play. And you have to be fearless at the table for sure. And, sometimes I play a little just a little bit, if I'll play in a really, you're playing big games, here and there, and maybe you're a little out of your comfort zone, but, and I'd say biggest weaknesses. I love to. I would say my outside of poker, my biggest vices would probably be roulette and stuff like that, and I like to gamble here and there, have fun.
A little bit of gambling.
A little bit of gambling here and there, not too much, not as much as it used to be. But now, as you get older, you learn you can't beat a game where you're 5.26% underdog or 2.63 if they're European roulette.
All right. Lastly, what is one thing the poker world doesn't know about you? One thing you've never said or talked about in an interview before. Fun fact, interesting, silly, serious.
I think everybody knows everything about my life.
I know, right?
Pretty much, because I've been doing this for so many years. We've done a lot of interviews. I enjoy going to the movies a lot. So I don't know if I ever talked about it, but yeah, I love movies. And
what was the last movie you saw?
Last movie I saw was Crawl in New York. It's like an alligator movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your number one movie if you had to watch one movie for the rest of your life?
Oh, you can always see Rounders, right?
Really?
Yeah. Always. Yeah. It's a little bit about my lifestyle. It's kind of, and where you take those chances and risks in life, and go with your bankroll, ship it in, and take your chances and double up or go broke.
All right. Well, I think I have a million more questions because it's actually fun to talk to you, this really intimate setting. But I know you have some poker to play, and you can't just sit here and.
No, I can talk. Whatever you got for me, I'm here. Whatever, doesn't matter.
I think I kind of covered it. I think we got a little bit of uncovered.
I like to go out a lot. That's for sure. I like to go out a lot. I like to have fun for sure, and enjoy my. It's 38. I have 3 kids. I love to travel and stuff like that. Go on some adventures. Did the shark diving with my fiance. Did some safaris. So we had a good time. So I like adventurous stuff as well.
Well, we'll end on a high note. Michael's we've been talking about crying and favorites and all this stuff. You're sweating. And so sharks, adventuring, diving, badass stuff, cool stuff. Well, thank you, Michael. How do you think you'll play poker the rest of your life?
Of course. I think it'll be more of part-time, not full-time. And I wouldn't even say I'm a full-time pro right now because I don't play that many tournaments. I usually play cash games throughout the year with a private game with a bunch of friends in Florida. So, I just look forward to the World Series every year, and of course a lot of the 888 live events. And there's a lot of big guarantee events out there as well. That I look forward to.
All right. Well, thank you for that inside look and for amusing me with all of my random silly questions. We are at 888 live in Sochi with Michael the Grinder Mizrachi, who we're getting under the covers, even though we're on top of the covers. It's a little under the cover look at the Grinder. I'm Tiffany Michelle. This is Poker News.